Hey everyone, this is Beth with the Rave.com, and I am sitting here with the lead singer of Saves the Day. How are you today, Chris?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm terrific. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you're on tour with Bayside right now.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about the tour. What's it been like?
It's been great so far. We've only done maybe 6 shows so far, and we started in Philly and Boston. We did a couple nights in each city, so it was nice to sort of relax at the beginning of tour. And now we're getting into the middle of the country, and we're excited for the next month and a half.
The middle of the country where all the parties are, right?
Hey, it gets kind of awesome in smaller towns. People are really excited to have the bands come through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you guys just released your newest album,
Yep.
Daybreak, on
Yes.
September 13th, right?
Yes, just came
now.
out.
Excellent. So what was your inspiration for a 10-minute song?
Good question. Well, I was working on a bunch of different ideas, and they were just sort of floating around the back of my mind, developing over the course of a few months. And one night, I was playing my guitar, and a bunch of these ideas just sort of fused into one. It was a really cool moment. It was as if they all were wanting to belong together. It was neat. So I was just playing guitar, and one idea was followed by the next, was followed by the next, and just it fell together. So it was kind of cool to watch it happen. And it's not as if I thought it would be really neat to have a 10-minute long song. It just happened, and then after the fact, I thought, hey, that's kind of interesting. Not that many bands do that.
It's true.
So,
Very true. So when you write, do you typically, are you in a quiet space? Do you like to be away from people, be in the heart of things? Where does your inspiration come when you write?
that's a good question, too. I like to be isolated, for sure. I write on my own. I tend to write in my studio at home, which is just like, it's like a one-bedroom little house, really.
Right.
And it's tiny. Nobody else is ever there. And I could play guitar for hours and not bother anyone. And I find that the best ideas come when I've just sort of forgotten that there's a world outside, and I'm just in my own zone, little musical world. And it's a lot of fun for me to go into that place and come out with a newly developed idea.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's fun.
Creativity takes, chunks of time. You
It
can't
really
just,
does.
Snap and be creative.
It really does. And I like that quote that's something like inspiration is 99% perspiration. Because I think you really have to work and work and work. And then eventually something will happen that's almost surprising. And I think those moments are the ones I'm looking for.
Right.
I call it sifting for gold. So I'll collect every last idea that comes my way, and then I'll sift and find the ones that are really interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of a lot of hard work, Daybreak was the third in a trilogy.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
So how does it feel to finally, you're done with it.
Yeah.
Now. How does that feel?
It's a relief. It took a lot of work. It was quite a project. We started in 2005, and so over 6 years of writing and recording, I certainly learned a lot. It was interesting to write in this concept. I'd never really done that before. And it was something I definitely had to do for myself. The entire trilogy is about pulling yourself out of a dark place and becoming a better person.
Right.
And I just needed to do that for myself. And it was fun to document it through these albums.
Right.
And yeah, it was a lot of hard work, but it was worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now it's like the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
It's all complete.
And it's fun. People know the songs now. It's fun to play them live. And it's nice to hear positive feedback.
What does it feel like when the crowd sings your song back to you?
It's awesome. It's really surreal because I'm not sitting there writing the song thinking, I wonder what people will think of this. I'm writing it just for me. I'm having fun with the music, and then with the lyrics, I'm really trying to vent something that I'm dealing with.
Right.
And so I'm not thinking, what is this going to sound like to somebody else? So it's neat when it just works and people connect with it.
And they're accepting it and singing
yeah,
it back
and
to you.
they get something out of it. And it's a neat experience to hear them singing the words back.
Right. That's something cool with an album that's inspired by real feelings and real events.
Yeah.
That's when people can relate to it.
Yeah, I
say,
think
I'm
so.
going through it too.
I think it reminds me that we're all a lot more similar than it seems on the outside. I know we all look completely different, but sometimes I'm reminded through music that people go through the same kinds of experiences in life. Sometimes we don't have the words to explain that, but music has its own sort of language.
Absolutely.
You know, and when people resonate with it, it's neat. It's neat to have that connection with people.
Brings them all together.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even need words in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I can only imagine what that feeling
It's
is
special.
like on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Halloween's coming up.
Yes.
And I've heard from some of the other guys on tour that everyone's supposed to be Spider-Man.
I think there's something in the works, but we haven't decided yet in Saves the Day what we're going to do.
Could break free from the pack.
We typically do. Last year we were all Andrew WK.
Do you guys
all
often,
4 of us.
Do you guys often do like group costumes where you're all the same person?
Well, we try to keep it themed, you know, so that we're all doing something similar.
Right.
Maybe not the same. That was the first time we were all the same person, but we've done concepts before.
Right.
You know,
that's
Wizard of Oz and stuff.
Yeah, like it's the new thing to.
Yeah,
to
it's
dress
fun.
in themes.
Halloween shows are really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet. So you've been here. It's like 8 times now since 2002,
oh my gosh, so
right?
many times. Yeah.
What's your favorite memory from the Rave?
We always have a good time here because I love how they have the backstage set up. It's very cozy, and it's really conducive for a good hang after the show because everybody's at ease. And it's not like a backstage that's sectioned off where the opening bands and the headlining bands are all kept apart from each other. Everybody's in the same space, which I like. I like things to be more communal. And I think when we were here with Taking Back Sunday in 2003, that might have been one of the most fun shows.
Yeah.
Because our friends from Hey Mercedes and Braid came out, and we had a blast. But this is always a cool venue to play.
Yeah.
It's so cavernous. It's fun to explore.
It really is.
Yeah.
Plus with all the updates and
renovations.
It's
just getting nicer and nicer.
And now with all the creepy stuff everywhere.
I know, right?
You know, there's skeletons looking at you everywhere now. Around dark corners.
That's right.
And whatnot.
It's creepy.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and have fun on stage and with the rest of your tour.
Thank you.
And this is Beth with Rave.com signing off.
See you next time.